struggling emotionally. What did you see from them in the way they kind of regrouped as the game went on, and seemed like played pretty well, especially in the second half? What did you see from them?
Yeah, just care. You know, I mean, it goes outside of football or a game or anything dealing with an activity or a sport, just to seeing your friend down, you know, and seeing somebody who sacrificed so much and you know, and hopeful and all these kind of things. So it leaves the moment of just the game and what's going on and the crowd. It's just more of, that's my, you know, my real friend out there. You know, similar to any of us, we saw a friend down somewhere. You forget you at work. You forget that you got a helmet on. You forget all that. You just more care for your friend. And so I think in that moment, you know, and we hadn't had moments like that. I mean, you saw even at the bowl game when Jazz went down, everybody ran out there. You know, our team is really close. So whenever they see one of their brothers go down, there's always an emotional reaction. And then Jordan, who's been here, every kid on his team has been here with Jordan. So he's been here even before I got here. So his relationship with those guys are real, and they understand it. So I think it was just a moment of just blocking everything out and just care for their brother and team.
Russell?
I mean, obviously you spent a lot of time with Jordan as well. What was your immediate reaction? How did you try to block it out? Because obviously that's not an easy moment for anyone in that moment.
Yeah, you know, the first thing is you never know how serious it is, because I've seen Jordan go down before it didn't pop up. I've seen Jordan go down and leave and come back the next game. You know, I've seen him. You know, so sometimes there's an ignorance to it. I'm like, oh, he'll be all right. You know, and then it's like, oh, this is real. You know, and even then, you know, Coach probably spoke on him when he went out there to talk to Jordan. Even in that moment, Jordan calmed Coach down. Like, I'm all right, I'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like, even in that moment, even knowing what was happening, knowing what was going on, he still had a positive outlook, which is unbelievable. So I think that touched Coach hard too. But nah, man, that was my immediate reaction. That he'll be all right. You know, let's go see what's wrong. He might have did something simple, but then his response going forward, as you see him in the hospital with his teammates, texting us, texting his team, texting Coach. He read a text at the team meeting yesterday. So, you know, he eases the team just like he's done with his play, with his style of leadership, all of it. So, you know, that was my immediate reaction.
Chris?
What did you think of how Tate handled how he came into that game and how he played going forward, and what has you confident about Tate when he takes over the starting reins?
Yeah, but Tate an old head. I mean, it's not like we putting in some redshirt freshman or nothing like that. He's been around. You know, he's been around here just as long. Man, we came up. We was joking the other day. Me and Tate got hit at the same time. So, you know, he's been in it for a while. So you know he understands the system now. We had a couple of breakdowns in there, you know, with signals and communications and things like that when he happened, but also he just saw Jordan go down, so he had to compose himself, you know. So I think once everything settled and we got back to you know, playing the game and you know, and inspired, I thought everything was good. But Tate, I don't have any concern with how Tate handles things or operates or understands the system or how to work, because I mean, he's ran it numerous times, you know, and I'm proud for his moment because he earned it. So, you know, I'm glad to see, anytime somebody earns something, I am glad to see him go showcase his ability and what he's been working on.
Kurt?
How are things for Tate and for y'all, the offensive staff? How are things different now with knowing going into the week he'll be the guy instead of like getting thrown into it like he did Saturday when he did?
Not much difference. I mean, like we say, he knows the system, he understands it. You know, we'll tweak some things that kind of go to his skill set, where, you know, they are two different, they're not different players, they're different people and different ways to handle things, the way they see things and things like that. So I don't think anything goes as far as planning. It's just more he gets the phone calls of, what do you like? You know, when you're the main guy, and then like when you're Jordan, we would call Jordan throughout the game plan. He'd be sitting up in the office and saying things that, you know, he'd be suggest things or things he feel comfortable with. So you just get those questions to kind of tailor to things you're seeing on film and things that you feel comfortable with and who you feel comfortable with and who you want around you and things of that sort. So he just gets to a little bit more say-so in that. But I mean, as far as the game plan, he's always a part of the game plan because he still always has the ability to go play. He's been our next guy. So, you know, none of that really changes drastically. It's just he gets a little bit more say-so on what he feels comfortable with.
Before the injury, offense obviously was struggling, and the running game was struggling. There's a lot of external reasons that could be. I mean, between the Florida and Miami and with all the activities that were going on that day, with the celebrations, do you put any of that on that, or
No.
or why do you think the offense struggled early?
No, I mean, it's very simple. Of like the first third down we got, we ran a counter play to the stack linebacker. who the right tackle thought was going to play over the top, but he played underneath. He beat him underneath. That gave it an extra. So Jaheim took his guy, and we were down when he made the tackle on 3rd down. The first short yardage, we were in a condensed formation, which kind of makes the edges closer. So they pinch the front, and they bring edges. I mean, you got to better seal the edges. So we had to get that corrected. And then one time on the goal line, we got a miscommunication. Tate turned the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Instead of handing it to the fullback, so it looks like a blown play. And then on 1 and 3rd downs, we had a miscommunication, and we were blocking a run, and it was a pass protection, so it looked like everybody was just in the backfield. So once everything settled and we got everything calm, I was very confident what was going to happen. But just like anybody else, I mean, you're not playing air. I mean, they're going to have something that you have to adjust to, and they're going to have something that you hadn't seen that you got to go get it corrected and get it fixed. So, you know, looking at all the situations that happened before that and being able to correct them always gives me confidence, because we got guys out there that, you know, especially in my position group, the O-line, where, you know, I was talking to Dylan Gibbons. He was at the game. I said, Gibbons, you know, you was here when we lost a game like this, and that helped you the next year when we didn't. And then, you know, I mean, so it's like it's just still guys that are learning in the moment. Now, I will say, you know, this is like for a couple of guys this is the first time they played a game like this here, where it's senior night, opponent that everybody's telling you outside that you should beat, and all that kind of good stuff. So we got guys like Darius, Mo, Rob, Meach, who've been in them conversations. They got to get them guys refocused, because this is that first time with them. But I was very pleased, and once everything settled, and I was able to grasp my eyes and get everything the way it needs to be, that they showed a lot of improvement throughout the game.
Brendan?
With Tate, say for like people who will be watching for the first time, like nationally on Saturday, like what about his skill set should they know? What excites you about what he does well physically, mentally, all that stuff?
I think sometimes people overlook Tate as an athlete. I mean, you know, you go back to the Louisville game, the first 3rd and long, I think he scrambled outside and got about 12 to 15 yards on the outside of the pocket, and Louisville had a fast defense. So, you know, and he can throw the ball. He can throw it. He knows it. He knows how to get the ball out quick. Even in the post, he hit to Johnny. I mean, one play, I mean, he was under pressure. We went too wide on the pool with the play action protection. And the guy came underneath, and he had to, you know, go handle that. But I think his overall skill set and his ability to process information, that's why we've always been confident in Tate. You know, I'm pretty sure, you know, talking to me or anybody else, or the head coach or Coach Norvell or anybody, you will see the ultimate confidence we have in him because we've seen it. And it was just like going into, I remember it was when we had Trey Benson and Johnny when they first got here, and everybody, well, what is Trey going to be? And what is Johnny going to be? We see it every day, so, you know, our confidence is extremely high in what he can do.
Jordan?
Coach, the Swamp at night is a notoriously hard place to play. Can you talk about the challenges of going on the road with a new person under center and possibly a new center?
Yeah, we had some guys. We got a lot of guys on this team that were up there in 21. We went up there and lost late. So you hopefully that they understand that and they know what's coming, and they understand how and what things we cannot do. And Helen, I thought we had a little bit over emotional in that game. It was a game, you know, you go back, you know, we're 11-0 now, but at that time we were trying to get bowl eligible, and that was a big deal at the time. I'm glad we got different kind of problems now, but at that time I thought we were a little bit over emotional. We didn't handle the moment, and we had to learn from that. So we got a lot of experienced guys that were there in that situation that can handle that, and no different than we went up to go play, you know, up there in Clemson, South Carolina, you know. So I think we've done a good job of learning how to handle hostile environments and understand emotional control and still keeping our poise and not having any kind of mishaps and just worrying about us more than anything, but you still got to handle the environment. So I think by having a veteran team that have been in that situation and failed in those situations, they understand what it takes to have a little bit more success.
Florida's defense has had some struggles. What have teams been able to do against them, and what have they been able to do to kind of regain their footing?
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you watch teams and everything's about matchups, because, you know, you go numbers and stats, of course, but then you watch some games, they play really well, and they tackle well, and they kept them in the game, and they've had a lot of close games, you know. So I think the defense, you know, I think overall they've kind of found their niche of what they're trying to do. You know, we got a new coordinator coming in, and you got some young players and things like that. But they started to settle, and you watch them towards the end of the games. They're doing a little, you know, they're getting to where they want to be. But their length, athleticism, and size always give them an opportunity to be successful. So, you know, we're going into this thing. You know, we got to be ready because they're long, and you know, this game is a little bit different than the other game they played. You know, you got the in-state rivalry and all the history behind it. So, you know, we're gonna get the double swings. It was very similar. We played with 21. It was some adversity going on that side where, you know, they coaching changes and wasn't playing well and all that don't matter, you know. It starts off 0-0, square, and we got to go execute and be on point because we're going to get the best.
Coach, you went into the season with one of those like good problems, luxuries of Robert and Bless at left tackle and figuring that out. We haven't really seen a lot of either of them lately. What's kind of their stats and what's been their role for you moving forward?
Bless played quite a bit last night. With Saturday, he played quite a bit against North Alabama. He got good work in that game because Darius went to center. So when Mo went out, Darius moved to center. And, I think he did a phenomenal job. And Bless came in and KJ some work. So we rotated. In that game, I probably rotated just the one because I didn't use Rob in the game, still giving him some time to heal up, but he was available if I needed him. And then we put Darius at center with Mo going down, and then Bless and JB took the blunt of the work. So, I still have ultimate confidence in them. And those guys are still learning too because this is Bless and JB's first year starting for me and going through a season. So they're learning some of the lessons that those other guys had to learn in previous years. Whether it be making sure you focus, making sure you understand what you can get in certain situations. So I love some of the mistakes they're making because they're not having to go through what Darius and went through because when they made those mistakes, we got our teeth kicked in. And it was very detrimental. So they're making those mistakes and we're still having some success. So they have to learn through the adverse moments, but still not hurting the older guys. It's like, hey man, we can't do that. So I've been pleased with their progression throughout the season, and every time a new issue comes up, I like they're attentive to get it fixed so we're able to show improvement as we go. So just going through that journey, I'm glad, I'm getting them the experience they need so we can still have some success because those are guys that like to be back with us too.
Brenda?
Brock was able to get a few series out there. I guess how would you assess he did with the time he got? And I don't know if you care to comment on the touchdown celebration.
Look a little stiff in the shoulders. You gotta give him a little sauce. But no, man, Brock is a ball player. I can't, talking about as far as getting thrown in there, processing information, not having mistakes, and I gave him, a little bit of we were in the offensive meeting, I gave him a little bit of talking because, on that play we don't pull the ball, but I think he knew what he was doing. He wanted to go score, so, I think he had a little bit of that in him. But no, I like Brock, man. He's smart, tough. He had to come through some adversity, was limited a little bit, and now he's back in that thing, healthy and ready to roll. And what I love about Brock is he stalks Coach Tokarz. Anytime we have anything, he'll make Coach Tokarz come in his office and restart it and reteach it and keep doing it and keep doing it. And you love players that stress coaches. Like, hey man, I want you to be on my back about things you don't know because at the end, you control your destiny of your career. I'm here to assist and I'm gonna coach you hard, but if I'm missing something or you feel like you ain't got it, come stress me, come stalk me, and that's what Brock does. He put that heat on Tony to make sure he knows what's going on and understands it. So I'm loving what I'm seeing from his development. He's also, man, I was a little surprised how he got out there and ran pretty good too. He got some speed on him. So I think, I give him a hard time about his mustache right now. I don't like it, but I do think, man, Brock's gonna be a special player for us.
One more for Ira.
The backs up and down had a really good game the other night, very productive. Sam is a guy that, a lot of people haven't seen yet because he's a freshman. How pleased were you with him in that game, and is he a guy in his last few games that he can become a weapon for this offense?
Yeah, man, Sam, one thing he has an elite speed. Try guy in high school, and could really run. I think once he gets comfortable, get banged up a little bit, he had to go through some adversity. So he got in there banged a little bit, and even seeing him after the game on the one, he said he made the extra cut, he should have just ran. I said, man, you had a chance to show everybody, how fast you were. And he's like, I don't know why I cut on that one. And I think so, just like all the rest of those guys, man, as they learn the flashes of the game and their reaction times go faster, Sam could be a very dynamic home run hitting running back because he's one of the fastest backs in that room. Similar to Rodney. When Rodney first got here, I feel like I'm having the same conversation I had about Rodney before this season that I'm having about Sam now. And now Rodney is just one of the guys. He's explosive, runs hard. So it's just that process. We do the Sunday night practices, and Sam been showing up on Sunday night. So everybody that doesn't rep, they go in there. We get out there on Sundays. We get that work. So they go play another game on Sundays, the game they didn't play the night before. And he's been flashing in that. So he earned those carries because if you're not flashing that, we're not going to give you those carries. We got some other guys who can go in there. So I think as he continues to progress and trust his speed and start seeing the flashes and reaction, he can be a special back for us.
Thanks, guys.
No problem.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Alex.